What's up, folks? Welcome back. Today we're diving once again into the world of making money online, and we're going to compare two big platforms where you can sell stuff: Etsy and Shopify. So the big question is, as a noob with zero experience, should you open a Shopify store or an Etsy shop? Now, I'm a bit biased, as some of you might know, but I'm going to try to give you at least somewhat of an objective rundown. Well, objective is a strong word, but I will be honest. I mean, I think I'm one of the only ones out there who isn't actually trying to sell you on a course. So there's that, right? If you're new here, hit that subscribe button and tap the notification bell so you don't miss any of my new drops. All right, Etsy versus Shopify. Let's start with the basics. What are they? Etsy is like a massive online mall where people go to different shops to find unique, handmade, digital, or vintage items. And Shopify, on the other hand, is a platform where you can create your very own store from scratch. Think of it as leasing space for your shop on the internet. So this is the interesting bit that I think a lot of new sellers overlook when starting out. Etsy is a platform full of actual buyers looking for cool, unique gifts, and they're ready to spend money. All you really have to do is give them what they want. That could be a new product or an old product with a new design style or aesthetic, or maybe serving an underserved niche market. So with Etsy, you're already a step ahead by being in front of a crowd that actually wants what you got. On the other hand though, a standalone store with your own .com like Shopify is more like a car dealership on the highway, except that you're the guy on the side of the road holding a sign, sweating in that stank hot gorilla suit, trying to get people to pull off the highway and actually come in and look at your cars. And it'll take a serious amount of marketing dollars and one really sweet gorilla suit to make you look like a high-end dealer. But you're not just selling cars. First, you gotta try to convince people to take that exit and check out what you have. The sky's the limit in terms of potential, but you're gonna have to work a lot harder to bring people in the door. People who want to buy your stuff. That's the best part about it all. I can't stress this enough. Etsy already has a built-in audience that wants what you're selling. As of 2021, Etsy had over 81 million buyers. That's a ton of potential customers. Shopify? Unless you already have a large following or you're ready to spend a ton on advertising, you're basically yelling into the void. Okay, let's talk about setting up your shop. With Etsy, you're mostly filling in the blanks. You don't really need to know all that techie stuff. Etsy lays it out: how to upload product photos, how to write descriptions, and even how to set your prices. It's kind of like a paint by numbers. You just sort of have to stay in the lines. Pretty much idiot proof as far as online selling goes. But with Shopify, on the other hand, it's like building a model airplane, but without the instructions. You've got to figure out how to design your website, how to set up the shopping cart, how to handle techie bits, how to navigate SEO, and how to edit their themes. I mean, it's not impossible, but it's a lot more complicated for a beginner for sure. So let's talk about money. I mean, it's the main reason we're all really here, right? This is another major win for Etsy, in my opinion. There's no monthly fees with Etsy. You only pay 20 cents to list a product, and then it's 6.5% to Etsy plus the transaction fees of 3%, which are only actually charged when you sell something. And those fees will come out of your sales before Etsy pays you. Pretty simple. With Shopify though, you're looking at $39 a month, or $29 if you pay for the whole year at once. So that's like 350 bucks up front before you actually even sell anything. And those transaction fees of 3%, yeah, that's not just an Etsy thing. You got to pay that on Shopify too. Now, Etsy also has some pretty sweet built-in marketing tools that drive urgency. We're talking about star seller badges that instill trust. They have timers like 6 hours left to get 20% off. They have scarcity prompts that drive urgency, like hurry, there's only 7 left and over 20 people have this in their carts. They also have automatic abandoned cart emails. So like if people leave stuff in their cart, they'll send them out automatically. They have notification emails for buyers when you run a sale. And they even have an actual countdown timer in your cart that literally ticks down, showing how much time is left before your sale ends. I actually have a whole video just on this stuff right here. Now, obviously, you've got to be thinking like, well, Shopify must offer something really cool for that price, right? And sure, they do have some of the same features, and actually they have a whole whackload more of awesome add-ons to drive sales. But here's the thing. Most of the bells and whistles with Shopify come with extra monthly costs. So if you're not making sales, it all starts to add up pretty quickly. One thing I'll hands down give to Shopify is the flexibility. You can sell whatever you like, however you like. You can brand your store to the nines, customize every single little detail, and nobody can tell you otherwise. But remember, more customization means more complexity, and more complexity means more time. Do you really want to spend your time learning the code or down some YouTube rabbit hole just to figure out how to add customization options? What about hanging out on chat with support or swapping your time for money and hiring a designer? Or would you rather focus on what you do best, like creating your products and selling them? It's not rocket science, but it's not a walk in the park either. And let's be real, if you're watching this, you're probably a newbie. And if you're a newbie, you probably don't even know what you do with all these options anyway. All of these options are super overwhelming, and that's where Etsy's limitations can actually be a good thing. They give you this kind of limited framework to work within, so you can't really screw up, and you get to, ultimately, you have to focus on what matters most, which is creating products and selling them. Etsy also takes care of all of the techie stuff in the background, like web hosting, security, and even mobile optimization. So you don't have to worry about all that, keeping your shop up and running and making sure it works properly. If you're just starting out and you want to get up and running quickly with Q4 right around the corner, Etsy's definitely easier. The platform literally guides you through the whole process of setting up a shop. With Shopify, expect to spend a lot of time or money, or both, just getting things set up the way you want. Etsy makes shipping a breeze for domestic or international customers. They handle the customs forms, the duties, all that stuff. It's like having a logistics team in your pocket. Etsy's templated shipping profile setup takes all the guesswork out. But with Shopify, you're mostly on your own. You got to figure out the international shipping, return policies, VAT. It can be a massive headache. In fairness though, both are way easier to deal with if you're doing print on demand. Then there's the SEO perks of using Etsy. When you open an Etsy shop, you're essentially getting a head start in the SEO game. Etsy's already in Google's good graces, so it gives you a kind of a head start without having to be an SEO expert. And Etsy is set up in a way that Google understands easily. This is great for new sellers who haven't really had a chance to climb that SEO ladder yet. It's kind of like getting a VIP pass at a busy club. You get to skip the line. Then there's the in-house advantages with Etsy. They have their own really effective search feature that help people find your own products by using keywords, titles, and tags. Plus, new products get a temporary bump in visibility in Etsy's own searches, so that gives you a golden opportunity when starting out to get your items in front of potential buyers. If you're looking to understand how Etsy's titles and tags work, check out this video. I break it all down for you. The SEO hurdles with Shopify means you'll have to roll up your sleeves and dive into it yourself. Unlike Etsy, which handles a lot of the SEO heavy lifting for you, Shopify leaves it all in your hands. You'll have to become well versed in SEO and learn how to optimize keywords and meta descriptions, all that stuff. With Shopify, you gotta pay to play. Many Shopify sellers find out quickly that they need to fork out a ton of extra cash for paid ads to attract customers, especially when you're starting out. Even though Shopify offers some SEO tools, they aren't really user-friendly, and they're not even close to as good as specialized SEO services. So on top of Shopify's monthly fees, you also need to budget for ads and additional SEO help. Then there's the waiting game. Becoming good at SEO is not an overnight process. It takes a steady commitment to learning everything about your target market, analyzing all the data, and tweaking your strategy, which is super intimidating if you're new to it. That's true for both Etsy and Shopify, but with Shopify, if you're not advertising all over the place, you're pretty much dead in the water, while those monthly fees keep coming and coming. And I've seen people blow literal thousands of dollars on Facebook ads without even getting a single sale. It's kind of heartbreaking. The customer is king. According to an e-commerce survey I read a few months ago, about 70% of consumers say that they'll abandon a purchase if the shopping process is too complicated. And the Baymard Institute, if I'm pronouncing that right, found that having too long or too complicated a checkout process is the reason why over a quarter, 26% of shoppers abandon their cart. That's more than 1 in 4, which is a lot. Etsy offers a streamlined shopping experience. The customer doesn't get overwhelmed or confused. They see a product they like, they click, they add to cart, and they buy. While Shopify can be a maze. One store might have a totally different checkout process from another, and if you don't know what you're doing, you could even unintentionally make a buyer abandon their cart. And let's face it, nobody likes being lost in a maze. Etsy has their own forums, and there's some pretty massive communities of sellers who help each other too. One of those Etsy communities is my own Etsy Print on Demand Facebook group, where you can ask questions, get advice, and learn from other sellers. I mean, you shouldn't have to pay someone hundreds of dollars to learn how to do this stuff. So if you want me to keep giving away the same stuff for free, you know what to do. Now, Shopify has support too, but it's not the same as having a community of peers to help you out. And from my experience, some of their support is pretty hit and miss. I'm literally on day 4 of trying to get a simple issue resolved. But don't get me wrong, Shopify is awesome if you're planning on becoming the next Jeff Bezos. It's super customizable and it's super scalable, meaning you can grow your business big time. But here's the thing, Shopify is kind of like building a house from scratch. You need to know a little bit about design, a little bit about coding, and you'll need to be a marketing guru or hire one to get people to actually visit your site. But if you're starting off and you're especially not a techie, Etsy is just much simpler. You don't need to worry about designing your storefront, securing your own domain, or even driving traffic to your site. Etsy really does do that all for you. It's user-friendly, it has a built-in customer base, lower upfront costs, and free marketing tools to help you succeed. You just have to focus on creating great products and providing awesome customer service. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up, share it with your friends who are interested in making money online, and don't forget to subscribe for more. See you in the next one.